All right, so today we are going to be learning about forest habitats. So far, we've learned about desert habitats, we've learned about oceans, we have learned about freshwater habitats, and we've learned about Arctic habitats. So the next one we're learning about is our forest habitat. Maybe. All right. So one thing that if we look at a picture of this forest habitat that I have up here, we're going to notice that there's some water in this forest habitat. And usually in order for a forest to grow and in order for the animals and plants in a forest to survive, there needs to be some source of fresh water in or nearby the forest. So a lot of the time when you're in a forest, you're going to see something like a stream or a river running through it. There are lots and lots of different kinds of forest plants. I'm sure the first thing you think of when you think of a forest or the woods is trees. There are all sorts of different kinds of trees that grow in forests, kind of depending on where that forest is located. And then there's other plants as well. There's different bushes, there's grass, you might see some mushrooms, flowers. You'll see all kinds of different plants and animals growing and living in forests. When you look down at the ground, when you're walking around in the forest, I'm sure you'll see leaves and plants, but you're also going to see some different kinds of animals. You might see snakes, you might see squirrels and chipmunks, different kinds of bugs like ladybugs and ants. You might see frogs and toads because remember, forests are going to have that source of fresh water. And what kind of animals love fresh water? Frogs and toads, because that's where they lay their eggs. You might see bigger animals as well. You might see different kinds of bears. Depending on where you are in the world, you might see a moose, you might see raccoons and deer. Those are all animals that live in and around the forest. But then if you look up into the trees and into the air, you'll see other animals too. You'll see owls. I've got two types of owls here. You might see bats, and you'll see tons of different kinds of birds living in the forest. Now, the forests that I was just showing a lot of pictures of, those are forests that you would commonly see in America where we live. But there are forests all around the world. So if you go to places like South America and Africa, they have forests too, but they look a little bit different. So forests in South America and Africa tend to be warm and humid and get a lot of rain. So they're called rainforests. So in here, I've got a picture of the Amazon rainforest in South America. It's the largest rainforest in the world. And also has one of the longest rivers in the world, the Amazon River, running right through it. Some animals that you might see in a rainforest, you might see monkeys, gorillas, and you're going to see different kinds of frogs. So I've got a tree frog here and a poison dart frog as well. You're not going to see those in forests around here, but you might see those in rainforests in Africa or South America. Another kind of forest you might see is in Asia, and those have a specific kind of tree that'll sometimes grow, and that is called bamboo. And there are different kinds of animals that live in a bamboo forest in Asia than would live in a rainforest or who would live in forests in the United States. So pandas are going to live in those bamboo forests because pandas love to eat bamboo, and they eat a ton of it. And then I've got different kinds of monkeys will live in Asia as well. Different ones than what would be in South America or in Africa. And last, in Australia, they also have different kinds of forests. And one animal that you will see, that you might see in a forest in Australia is the koala. So koalas really like to eat this plant called eucalyptus, and those plants are often found in forests in Australia. So that's why you'll see those kind of animals there. So that is, I believe, let me double check. Yep. That's a little bit about forest habitats. So what your job is to do is you are going to look in your forest habitat book and you are going to color the animals that you might see in a forest. Now I chose animals that would be in a forest here in the United States. So we're not going to be drawing rainforests today, boys and girls. So we're just drawing a forest that you might see around where we live. And so we've got bears, raccoons, squirrels, owls, and deer. You can add other animals as well, but then I mostly want you to draw the forest habitat around these animals. So those trees, the leaves, maybe a river or stream running through. It's up to you. Remember, we're scientists, so we do want it to stay pretty realistic. All right. And that is the end of Science Today. I'll see you for more science on Wednesday. Bye.